Check this out. A single mom goes back to her old place that has been empty for a long time. She plans to fix up this old house and live in it. Actually, this house was built a few years ago, and nobody ever lived in it after it was finished. Coming back to live here this time is just out of options. But back when they built this house, it was the right call they made over the years. At least when they are down on their luck, they still have a pretty nice place to crash. You can see the indoor finishing is all in pretty good shape. A little tidying up and it should be easy to move right in. The backyard is also pretty spacious. The whole property covers over 5,000 square meters, so cleaning it up to live in, the experience won't be worse than in the city. To figure out the next steps for the renovation, the woman checks out the actual condition around the house. Aside from the yard being overgrown with weeds, there is also some junk piled up inside the house, but after cleaning it up, it will still turn out pretty nice. After looking things over, she finally came up with a renovation idea. Soon the woman has professional workers redo the yard. Even though it hasn't been abandoned for many years, the weeds have still grown pretty wild. It gives the feeling that this house has been empty for ages. Thanks to the hard work of the workers, now the entrance area has been successfully cleaned up. The next cleanup step moves inside. The weeds inside the yard were even thicker than you'd think. Luckily, the yard had a good layout from the start, and the ground was also paved with concrete, so dealing with the weeds is still fairly simple. And after this cleanup, they won't grow back later. As long as someone lives here long term, the chance of weeds coming back is very low. You can see the yard's weeds are really thick, and you even need special tools to get them all out. The whole layout of the yard is pretty grand. As long as the workers clear out the weeds on top, not much renovation will be needed afterward. After all, this yard already had a good design from the beginning. The yard right now, the reason it looks just so-so is mainly because it's covered by a lot of weeds. Once it's all cleaned up, it will look a whole lot better. Actually, the parts of the yard where weeds grow are only a small area. The main issue is no one took care of it for a long time, which caused some dirt to pile up, giving weeds a place to grow. The reason the woman suddenly came back to live in her hometown, the main reason is that living in the city costs too much. Coming back to her hometown to fix up the house and then find a job nearby. That way life is more relaxing. But speaking of finding a job, want to find a job, rent a place, find services, buy a car, sell a car. 58com handles everything. With the workers cleaning non-stop, the area in front of the door has been cleaned up. Now they can deal with the weeds right next to the wall a little bit. This spot used to have a lot of bonsai planted. Now it's taken over by a few weeds, but with a little cleanup, you can get it back to how it originally looked. Then gather up all the dirt on the ground. That way the look of the yard improves by more than just a little. A house like this, even if it's in the village, there are rarely any this nice. And once it's cleaned out, the result will be even more obvious. Luckily, when the house was built, all the facilities were already set up. Now you just need to clear away all the extra weeds. Because the city is way too competitive these days, so a lot of people are moving back to the countryside to live. Someone like this woman, who still has such a nice house at home, with just a little cleaning, it becomes a decent place to stay. Back when they designed the house, they also put a lot of effort into it. Not only does it have nice bonsai styles, but also a specially designed water feature. Once all the weeds in the yard are completely cleaned up, all these features will come back into view. Actually, a lot of people these days go back and forth between the city and the countryside. They only come back to the village to live for a few days during holidays. That is why the village houses easily grow weeds. Luckily, the village now has professional cleanup workers, so they don't have to do the work themselves and can move into the house quickly. A house like this woman's is fairly simple to clean up. After all, most of the yard has already been paved over. As long as someone lives there later, there basically won't be any weeds, judging by the area the workers are cleaning. This yard is really huge, but with them cleaning non-stop, now they are at the final stage. After the workers cleaned for over an hour straight, you can see the yard is really looking great. And the house also looks super impressive. The design inside the yard is also really luxurious. All the features and layout are still in good shape. Living here later on will be really nice. If it were you, would you go back to the countryside to live?